What's up, YouTube? So I'm gonna do a blind reaction. Never seen this video before, but this is actually my hands down favorite comedian is Redd Foxx, and he's doing an interview. I guess he's talking about Malcolm X, stereotypes, racial humor. I'm assuming this is probably gonna be one of the more serious ones. As a blind reaction, I don't know, but I've never seen it before, so let's get into it and hope this is a good one.
Mr. Fox, you've been involved with racial humor before it became fashionable. What was the reaction when you did it 20, 30 years ago?
Well, the reaction was sort of one of, "Ooh, don't do that. You can't do that kind of stuff here," and wherever I was appearing. And I got mixed reactions about it, but it's just subjects, just something to talk about, and it's timely, and I've always done it.
Now the audio on this is really bad. So I mean, I'm gonna still try to make it work somehow, but yeah, please, yeah, kind of bear with me a little bit here.
The reactions of the people.
Well, it has changed quite a bit, and with the when Dick Gregory came to prominence, and he was doing that type of stuff. A lot of people figured, well, here's a guy that's doing something that's brand new, whereas for years, I had been doing it myself, was being in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
And it's just one of those things, I talk about it because there are a lot of things to be said, and I say it in a helpful way,
Well, do you find difficulty saying it during the area or during the years when we've had riots during those periods?
No, I don't find it difficult because the type of humor that I do about the races is sort of a kind of humor to get people to understand why certain things exist and how to overcome the thought of hate when it should be love for the country. Like I say in my act, our argument is not black and white, it's yellow, because the Chinese come, they're going to want all of us, black, white, and anybody else is here, if they try or whatever, you're going to all be involved in a successful thing against them, I could be underneath, I don't know, but as far as on the surface, I feel in my heart is love for people,
Do you think someone like Sammy Davis or Harry Belafonte go too far?
I don't think they go too far. If something has to be done, it's no different than any other revolution, I think.
I wonder what they've done because Sammy Davis Jr. from America for a while he was, um, he wasn't really considered. Well, I gotta look that up. I don't know for a fact, but yeah, what have they done to be considered going too far? I need to know more about that.
Everyone must get involved to correct some of the things that are really wrong, and there are things that are wrong, you'd admit it. I do, because I see the truth.
What do you...
Progress. The country must, gather in all of its resources and try to, hey, bring something to everyone. Like I figure like on a Thursday night for a show like the show I was on, Soul Show, a show like that would give 22 million plus something to enjoy and can see. Why wait until I'm 75 years old to give me a break? I've been working 31 years
Right.
as a comedian, and this is as far as I got, to Atlanta, here to the Domino, So,
Which is interesting because he won't get another break until the 70s, and this is happening in 69, so he won't get another big break until what, 5 more years from now? And that's Sanford and Son, right?
it's not too encouraging, but I still stick with it. I believe it's something will happen, because I'm pretty hard-nosed about it, and I'm going to make it regardless.
Well, since you are so dejected about your limits as to how far you have gone, why haven't you taken a more active role in the civil rights group?
Because they have people for that. I'm born for comedy, That's my forte. I know what I'm set for. I'm a nightclub comedian. I'm not a television comedian, but I could make that transition very easily if given a role. Give me a script. Give me something that you don't expect that I would do on my own as a comic,
Exactly.
on my own material. I hear some of my own material on television, and they won't let me do it, but still another guy can go on the show and do it. It's really
That's
funny.
that's
you know?
infuriating.
And then they get the young black comics and they twist their minds, and they talk about watermelon and rolling their eyes. It's just young Stephen Fetchits and Mantan Morelands repeat, that's all. But I won't go that direction. I turned down 2 major roles in a Broadway show this year. 2 important roles in a Broadway show, 1 role in a movie. it would have made a difference in me, but I just couldn't accept the part that they offered me, you know. It was really going back before Civil War days, you know. And shuffle and this here and that there. I talk bad enough already. I don't need to put it on film, you know.
Exactly.
Not for money, you know. It's one of those things.
Tell me a little bit about your background that led into comedy.
Well, I was born. Yeah, in St. Louis. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, December 9th, 1922. And it puts me around 45 years now, but next week I'll be 46. And I spent 31 years of my life in this business, so the amount of years that I spent in it,
Wait, he's been doing comedy since 15? Dang.
you can realize that I didn't have too much time for schooling because it was during Depression and we needed money. So I didn't have time to get a full education, but I read as much as I could since that I left school. And that's about where it's at. No education, but determination and a lot of self-teaching, you know, and I try to be a good human being and represent my people best I can, you know, gentleman, without the scholar. You know.
Would you recommend that others follow in your footsteps younger than you?
If a guy has a attitude to really stick with it, stick to it, I think you call it.
Yep.
Just stick with it. It could be successful, but it's much better now if you can find something else to do it. You know, get into electronics. There's a lot of youngsters. Everybody can't be a comedian. A certain amount of it has to be born into you, you know, and if you can find another way to make a living, I'd suggest it because it's really rough, you know, and I know it's rough because I go to Las Vegas, I see comedians that are making like 5, 6, 8 times more money than I'm making, and they couldn't hold a candle for me, and that's not egomania. This is just fact because I'm, you know, semi-intelligent enough to see that and know that I'm better, but it just doesn't happen that way, you know. I guess I don't know what I'd have to do to be great, you know, but I know I have records, and they have made a good living for me for the years, through the years. And so even if I don't get the recognition, show-wise, I get the money, you know.
Right. Man, and he died broke too, but that was because of why? Let me know down below in the comments. Was it gambling or what? Or just bad money management? But wow, yeah, I hate the fact that it took him because the comedians he's talking about, I don't remember them cats. You know what I mean? He's been around. It took him 31 years to get famous. So all those, the wash your ass and the horse race and all that stuff, he wasn't famous then. That's amazing.
From the records and stuff.
Okay. How many feet do we shoot on that?
What do you mean about this half? Oh, this is
Wait, shut it. Shut it.
Oh, I thought you were right.
No. Did anyone ever try and influence you to join the militant phase of the Negro Revolution?
Well, I've been 2 or 3 groups that have approached me, but I think one of the most prominent people that's ever, you know, talked to me about it was Brother Malcolm X.
Oh, you slow. Stop it.
Dang, stop it right there, huh?
Did anyone ever try and convince you to join the militant phase of the Negro Revolution?
2 or 3 groups have approached me, but I think the most prominent person was Brother Malcolm X, who I was associated with for 15 years, you know, as 15, 20 years maybe as friends. We were friends in New York. We were kids together. Not kids, we were young men together, but it just wasn't my type of thing, you know. And I never did get involved because I'm a showman, like I said before. I'm in show business, and that's what my business is, show business. And I love it. And whatever I can do to help rather than hinder while I'm in a show business theme of my life, I'd rather do it that way, like I'm doing now. I say things when I perform that are helpful, you know.
How did Malcolm X try to convince you?
Just by trying to show me that this was the direction to head in, and I should be involved, and he was involved. We'd always been friends. Matter of fact, when we were young men, It was very hard to tell us apart. We were almost like identical people at that time. You know, we looked alike. Separation was in his book. The only way they could really tell us apart, they called him Detroit Red and called me Chicago Red. You know, but that was...
That's right. He's from Chicago, right? He's from Detroit. That makes sense.
Young and with no future and nothing in view. So I went along with a few things, but now that I'm in the business like I am, you know, I'm semi-successful.
Same level as nigger was?
Nigger, Negroes, all that, all the same put out.
Wow.
There's probably not anyone in the...
Well, we're not watching that one right now, but yeah, that was a very interesting conversation. Yeah.